దేనికైనను విశ్వాసం చాలా ప్రధానము.
For anything, faith is essential.
విశ్వాసమే లేకుండా ఏ కార్యం కూడా మనం సాధించలేము.
Without faith, you cannot achieve anything.
కనుక మానవునికి ప్రధానమైనటువంటి విశ్వాసము.
The faith is most important.
దేహానికి శ్వాసం ఎంత ప్రధానమో ఆధ్యాత్మికానికి విశ్వాసం అంత ప్రధానము.
As the breath is important for this body, faith is necessary for the divine path.
కనుక ఈనాడు విశ్వాసం లేనటువంటి భక్తి,
Today we have devotion without faith.
కేవలం శ్వాసం లేని జీవితము జరుగుతూ ఉంటుండాలి.
The life without breath.
నేను చెప్పారు, ఇంద్రియ నిగ్రహానికి కాడి కిందికి రాని ఎద్దు, కళ్ళం లేని గుర్రము, బ్రేకులు లేని కారు, ఇంద్రియ నిగ్రహం లేనటువంటి జీవితము నిరుపయోగము అన్నారు.
Therefore, the bull without yoke and the horse without the reins and the car without brakes are useless. Brakeless car.
కనుకనే ఈ విధమైనటువంటి దీనికి మనం సరైనటువంటి దీక్షను పూనాలి.
We should determine
అన్నింటికి నీ నామస్మరణే ప్రధానము.
For everything, Lord's name is
ఈ
important.
నామచింతన లేక ఇంకే విధమైనటువంటి దీంతో కూడా మన జీవితం అనే నామను దాటడానికి వీలు కాదు.
Without chanting Lord's name, it's not possible to cross this life.
ఈ నామమే మన జీవితానికి ఒక పెద్ద నావ.
This Lord's name is the very
ఈ
boat.
నావను ఎంతకాలమైనా సముద్రంలో పెట్టుకొని ప్రయాణం చేయవచ్చు.
You can travel for any length of time in this boat.
నావ కింద ఎంత జలమైనా ఉండవచ్చును.
There will be a lot of water.
కానీ నావ లోపల జలము చేర్చితివా ప్రమాదం అవుతుంది.
But the moment water enters into the boat, it will be dangerous.
జలము నావలో ఉండనప్పటికీ పర్వాలేదు,
Doesn't
అనగా
matter.
ప్రమాదం అవుతుంది.
But if the boat is on the water, it is safe. But when the water
ఇలాంటి
gets in, it's dangerous.
ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి భావములు జీవితం అనేటువంటి దీంట్లో మనం ప్రవేశించుకున్నప్పటికీ నామం అనేటువంటి చింతన చేసినప్పుడు నిశ్శబ్దంగా, నిర్మలంగా, నిస్వార్థంగా నామచింతన చేయాలి.
As we repeat Lord's name, we should repeat it, chant it selflessly, with a pure heart.
ఆడంబరంగా కానీ,
Not with pomp
లేక అహంకారంగా కానీ
or ego.
నామను ఉచ్చరించకూడదు.
You should never be egoistic, full of pride as you repeat God's name.
ఈ నవవిధ మార్గము లోపల ఏ మార్గమునైనా నీవు అనుసరించమని చెప్పారు.
You may follow any path, any one of the paths.
ఎట్ట మనం అనుభవించాలి?
Where?
ప్రశాంతమైనటువంటి భావంతో, నిర్మలమైనటువంటి హృదయంతో, నిస్వార్థమైనటువంటి చిత్తముతో శ్రవణం,
With all the purity, in all peace, you should chant God's name.
కీర్తనం,
Listening, the singing,
విష్ణు స్మరణం,
chanting,
పాదసేవనం,
service,
వందనం,
salutation,
అర్చనం,
worship,
స్నేహం,
friendship,
ఆత్మ నివేదనం.
surrender.
ఇవి పవిత్రమైన భావంతో మనం చేయాలి.
You should do with all sacred feeling.
ఏదో ఒకరిపై ఒకరు కాంపిటీషన్ కింద మనం పాడకూడదు.
You should not sing in spirit of
ఒకరు
competition.
చూసి ఒకరు హాస్యాస్పదమైనటువంటి పాటలుగా మనం పాడకూడదు.
We should not sing to make fun of others.
ఎవరి చింత మన హృదయంలో ప్రవేశించకూడదు.
We should not think of
ఏ
anybody.
నామమును స్మరిస్తున్నామో ఆ నామరూపమే మన హృదయంలో చిత్రించుకోవాలి.
You should picturize the form
అది
as you repeat the
నిజమైన
name.
నామస్మరణ.
That is true chanting.
ఈ కలియుగం నందు అదే మనకు ప్రధానమైనటువంటి ప్రాణము.
In this age of Kali, that is the very
కృతయుగ
life.
ధ్యానము, కృతయుగ ధ్యానము,
In the Kruta age meditation,
త్రేతాయుగ యజ్ఞము,
in Treta age,
ద్వాపరయుగం అర్చనము,
in Dwapara
కలియుగం
worship,
నామస్మరణ.
in Kali age chanting
హరే
Lord's
నామ
name.
హరే నామ హరే నామ ఇవ కేవలం కలౌ నాస్త్యేవ 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 గతిరన్యత. ఈ కలియుగంలో నామస్మరణకు మించినటువంటిది సులభమైన మార్గం మరొకటి లేదు.
There is no other easier path in this age of Kali other than Lord's name.
ప్రయాణం చేస్తూ మనసులో నీవు నామస్మరణ చేసుకోవచ్చు.
You can repeat God's name as you
నిద్ర
travel.
వచ్చేంత వరకు నామస్మరణ చేసుకోవచ్చును.
You can repeat
ఏ
God's
పనులు
name till the end.
చేస్తున్నప్పటికీ నామస్మరణ చేయవచ్చు.
Any work you may do.
కనుగొని అట్టి పవిత్రమైనటువంటి సులభమైన మార్గం ఈ కలిలో ఏర్పడింది.
Such a easy sacred path is present now.
కలియుగం చాలా సులభమైనటువంటిది తరించడానికి.
This is very easy path in this age of Kali.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My most humble salutation at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. It is with humble pleasure that I welcome you all to our inaugural offering. In this garland of 95 offerings, we are going to offer to our Bhagwan over the next 9 weeks. We are going to hold this session every Thursday beginning at 8 p.m. and we will go for the next 9 weeks, 9 Thursdays. We have a great program for you today, but at the beginning I would like to just mention to all of you that please, if you have not already signed up, please sign up to offer something to Swami. It can be anything. It can be a bhajan, it can be a musical offering, it can be a chanting, a poem, something from Swami's book. It is completely up to you what you want to offer. Please contact either Brother Ravi or Brother Aaron or myself, Chinmay. And so we will start our program today with Ganesha atharvashirsham. As you all know, at the beginning of all devotional program, we start by praying to Lord Ganesha. It will be offered by a brother of ours who needs no introduction, Brother Satya. He is a very integral part of our Atlanta Sai Center, very much involved in various service activities. But also on Thursdays, if you ever visit the Shirdi Baba temple, you will find him offering service there as well. So we will start with Brother Satya offering. Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Saishwaraya Namaha. This Ganapati atharvashirsham consists of 3 sections. The first section is nothing but the prarthana, that is to remove all the obstacles and bring auspiciousness to the present, which includes the Ganesha Gayatri. The second section is towards the end of the Ganapati atharvashirsham. You have Phala Shruti. The Phala Shruti means you are getting the blessings from the Lord Ganesha, and also ask for the forgiveness, whether it is known or unknown, any actions which are committed before. The third section will, what I can say is the Shanti Mantra, but this Shanti Mantra is chanted in other Vedic chants also. Here the Shanti Mantra will be chanted in the initial part after the first couple of lines. Then it is at the end of the Ganapati atharvashirsham, we will repeat the same. Om Shri Sai Ram. Let us all join and offer to Lord Ganesha, and Sai Ganesha has to bless us. Thank you. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Arihi Om. गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिर्शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो विद्दश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं दर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं कल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षात् आत्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वक्ष्मि सत्यं वक्ष्मि अव त्वं माम् अवभक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवधातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चातात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरातात् अवदक्षिणातात् अवचोद्ध्वातात् अवाधरातात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वम् आनन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दादिदियोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं तत्त्वो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेशति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवसुवरों गणादीं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादीं स्तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारपरधरः अर्धेन तुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्त्वमनुस्वरूपं गकारगपूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारच्चान्त्यरूपं बिन्दुरुत्तररूपं नादसन्धानं संहिता सन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या गणकऋषिः निच्छ्रुद्गायत्री छन्दः श्रीमहागणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमङ्कुशधारिणं रथं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्राणं मूषगध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृते पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगिनाम्बरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमदपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लम्बोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्नविनाशिने शिवसुदाय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः एतदथर्वशीर्षं योधीदे स ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते स सर्वविघ्नैर्नरबाध्यते स सर्वत्र सुखमेदते स पञ्चमहापापात् प्रमुच्यते सायमदीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति प्रातरदीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायं प्रातःप्रयुञ्जानो पापो भवति सर्वत्राधीयानोपविघ्नो भवति धर्मार्थकाममोक्षं च विन्दति इदमथर्वशीर्षं मसस्याय न देयं यो यदि मोहाद्यास्यति स पापीयान् भवति सहस्रावर्धनाद्यं यं काममदीदेतं तमनेन साधयेत् अनेन गणपतिम् अभिषिञ्चति स वाग्मी भवति चतुर्थ्यां मनश्नं जपति स विद्यावान् भवति इत्तदर्वणवाक्यं ब्रह्मादयाम्बरणं विद्यान बिभेति कदाचनेति यो दुर्वाङ्गुरैर्यजति स वैश्वरणोपमो भवति यो लाजैरजति स यशोवान् भवति स मेधावान् भवति यो मोदः सहस्रेण यजति स वाञ्छितफलम् अवाप्नोति यः साध्याय समद्भिर्यजति सर्वं लभते स सर्वं लभते अष्टो ब्राह्मणान् सम्यग्राहयित्वा सूर्यवर्चस्वी भवति सूर्यग्रहे महानद्यं प्रतिमा सन्निधौ वा जत्वा सिद्धमन्त्रो भवति महाविघ्नात् प्रमुच्यते महादोषात् प्रमुच्यते महाप्रत्यवायात् प्रमुच्यते स सर्वभिद्भवति य एवं वेद इत् उपनिषद् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिर्शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो विद्दश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न ताक्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्री साईश्वराय नमः हरिः ओम।
Sai Ram. Thank you, Brother Satya, for your offering. We're going to move on to the next offering by our brother Nikhil Kaushik, who is a former student of Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He's going to offer today something very near and dear to our heart. It is suprabatham. Before we go on to Brother Nikhil, I would like to share a very small story about suprabatham, my personal life experience. Growing up in India in the early 90s, Swami asked all the centers in India to offer suprabatham, Nagar Sankirtan and Bhajan 7 days a week. So obviously it was not possible to hold all these different events at the center. So different devotees volunteered to take on one day of the week to host the Nagar Sankirtan and Bhajan. Fortunately, with Swami's grace, my family got Saturday. So every Saturday we would have Nagar Sankirtan in the morning. And my father used to wake me up before the Nagar Sankirtan. So I would always tell him, wake me up after suprabatham because that'll give me a few more minutes to sleep. And he would always wake me up before suprabatham because he would say that you need to come and listen to suprabatham so you can learn. So in one of these days, if one of these brothers don't show up, then you can do suprabatham because I don't know how to do it. So I said no. So I, listened to him, and I would come and do, attend suprabatham and then Nagar Sankirtan. So long behold, almost a year later, we had a really it was monsoon, so it was a rainy day, and it was raining so hard that nobody essentially could show up. So we decided that we're going to do suprabatham, and then we're just going to do Nagar Sankirtan within our street. We'll get an umbrella and do it. So there was my opportunity, and Swami was preparing me for a year to be able to do suprabatham and then carry on his work. So again, there is so many different things in suprabatham, and we are very fortunate to have brother Nikhil to give us a talk about the meaning of suprabatham as his offering to Swami. Sairam, brother Nikhil.
Sairam Traditionary. Sairam to all of you. Brother, can you hear me? Am I audible? Brother, am I audible? Brother, am I audible?
Yes, Nikhil. Sairam, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sairam to all of you. I know it's not very intuitive to talk about Suprabhatam at 8 p.m. But hey, what if you like Suprabhatam so much after tonight? You can start practicing this tomorrow onwards, right? Morning. You don't have to wait for too long. Anyway, so in Sai tradition, you know how we immerse everything with prayers. We just heard Swami talk about Namasmarana and its importance. A day is begun with a prayer, and in the end, when one retires to bed, we end it with a prayer again. Suprabhatam is that beautiful spiritual tool which gives us a head start into this process. We normally relate to Suprabhatam as wishing the Lord good morning, right? That's how we think it is, but it sounds so strange and weird that we are actually wishing the Lord the good morning. The true intention is to awaken the divine within us at the beginning of the day. It is said, well begun is half done. So why not begin the day in a positive note? So if you're looking on how to make the day positive every single day, then Suprabhatam is what you have to try. So how do we do it? So in the next few minutes, I wanted to share a few points, a few insights about Suprabhatam. I won't go too much into the details of Suprabhatam itself. It is 10 verses. I'm sure all of you know. I have heard of it. It's a beautiful melodious prayer. But I will share a few points which I thought is important for us to know about the process of reciting and going about it every morning at a very high level. Again, without going into the actual meaning of the lyrics of the prayer itself. Suprabhatam, actually, though we say, as one prayer as Suprabhatam, it has actually two distinct components. To show a little bit more on the details, let me share my screen to show you something. Brother, can you allow me to share my screen? Okay, why don't I go ahead without that? It's okay. Suprabhatam has two important components. The first component is the Omkarams. The very important element of coupling this with Suprabhatam. Omkaram actually points us in the direction of the divine. How many times should we do Omkarams? It is typically done 21 times. Why 21, you may ask? There is a reason. Our scriptures say, and Swami has iterated this multiple times. This 21 can be split into its components. 5 times is for 5 karmendriyas, the organs of action. 5 are for gnanendriyas, organs of senses. The next 5 are for the 5 pranas, prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. And the next 5 are for the koshas, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and anandamaya kosha. So each of these 5 addresses different components of our body. They all add up to 20. But we said 21, so what is that one final thing? That one remaining is for the Jivatma. That is what Swami says. So in the morning, when we sit down to actually chant suprabatham, we chant Omkarams for 21 times. And when we chant Omkaram, it is suggested that every single time that we chant, we attribute that Omkaram as a cleansing mechanism to each of these elements of our own body, the karmendriyas, the jnanendriyas, the pranas, and the koshas. So by the time we finish chanting 21 Omkarams, we have completely cleansed our body. Whether physically we've had our shower or not, we have actually spiritually cleansed our body, and we are now ready to awaken that spirit within us. We are now ready to awaken that Sai within us to place him in our heart. That is the first step of 21 Omkarams. We then move on to chant the verses of Suprabatham. Again, like I said, I am not going to explain the verses of all of that. I'm sure all of you are aware of it, have heard it. You have access to the resources that give you the literal translation of each of those verses. It's a beautiful 10-verse prayer. You should all try it. It's very melodious. Now, when is it suggested to chant the Suprabatham? Ideally between 5 and 6 or 5:30 and 6 is the ideal time, because that's when you want to set a pedestal. You want to get a head start for the day. So you wake up early in the morning between 5 and 6 or 5:30 and 6. Typically it takes about 20 minutes in the normal pace that if you recite, you chant Suprabatham. The last thing I wanted to share is how will this help us? So what happens if we chant Suprabatham? There is a lot of spiritual significance to the prayer itself. Like I said, that we are awakening our Sai within us to place him in our hearts when we commence the day. But not just that, even at a very worldly level, on a day-to-day basis, my personal experience has been that this has been a very, very helpful and powerful tool for us to set precedents for the day. How? Like I said, we all are so ingrained to conduct prayers through the day. This is the Adi prayer. This is the first ever prayer that you will offer to the Lord. Second, this is what is used to awaken the Sai within us. And we then attribute everything that we do, irrespective of whether we remember to say every single prayer that we say during the day. This prayer gives us an opportunity the first thing in the morning, before we get into our busy schedules, to really offer everything to Swami. And once you actually get to know the Suprabatham, it is so beautifully worded and melodiously worded and sung that it gives a very great feeling after you finish the song that you're offering everything to Swami. And the last thing I wanted to mention is it sets the tone for the great day. It is very hard to really articulate the benefits of this. Like I said, it is more like a tool that you can actually use to set the day on the positive footing. I remember when I used to, when I was in the Parthi hostel, I used to get up at 5 o'clock or 5:15 to go to Suprabatham. There used to be days where I used to miss Suprabatham as well. But those days where I did make the effort to go sit there, though it was initially hard, to go sit there to complete the full prayer, by the end of the prayer, there is some magic that happens, which gives us so much energy to deal with the whole day, so much energy to deal with all the challenges, that it is really worth trying. So a lot of us may have stopped it, a lot of us might still continue, a lot of us might want to start chanting Suprabhatam. I would personally highly recommend chanting the 10 verses of Suprabhatam. It is very much available on the Radio Sai website, and there are a lot of other links on the internet where you can find it. So Suprabhatam is something that we should try. Hopefully, most of you will start trying from tomorrow onwards. This takes us back to one of the earliest prayers that Swami had taught us. Nothing can be ended without attributing to the real composer of this beautiful prayer. I in fact wanted to share the picture, but you can look him up as well. His name was Sri Dhupati Tirumalachar. He was a very learned man in the courts of Venkatagiri of Princely State. He was the person who composed this Satya Sai Suprabhatam. Hopefully, some of you or all of you will try this and see the benefits of that. Thank you so much. Brother Chinmay, back to you.
Sairam, Brother Nikhil. Thank you so much for your offering and sharing the meaning of Suprabhatam. So for the next offering, we have a pleasant surprise for all of you. And as we go forward with these programs, you will find some small nuggets here and there that will have for you in these offerings, and you will be happy to see the participation from folks that you may not have seen before, offering something that they're going to offer. So with that, I introduce Dia. Dia is going to offer a musical offering on tabla, and many of you may not have even know that she actually plays tabla. I wanted to share that Dia earning for learning and playing tabla came from her. She wanted to learn and being trained by no other than our beloved brother Anjaneya. So she's self-motivated SSC student. So Dia, please, Sairam.
Sairam, like Chinmay uncle said, my name is Dia. I'm going to be playing a short tabla solo today. The compositions I will be playing are composed by great masters, and the first thing I'll be playing is called atharvashirsham. Atharvashirsham is basically just 3 phrases played multiple times, and each phrase is played from slow to fast. Now I'll be playing a Kaidarela. be playing a takara. Then na 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 karate karate karatha 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 then na 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 karate karate karatha 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 then na 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 karate karate karatha karatha karatha. For listening to my offering. Please pardon for any mistakes that I made. Saram.
Saram Dia, thank you so much for your beautiful rendition. May Swami's blessing be always with you, along with the blessings of all the elders of the Atlanta Sai Center. So as I mentioned, we will have another pleasant surprise for all of you. And this time, you know the faces, but you don't know the hidden talents. Most likely you don't know the hidden talents. So the next piece is going to be offered by our very own Tejas and Rahul. You may have seen Tejas performing on piano, on harmonium before, but he's going to play a complete different instrument for us tonight. And same goes with Rahul. You have seen Rahul playing harmonium at the center, but he's going to play tabla tonight, which is something I don't know everybody knows that he can play very well. Before we start the offering, I want to take this time to thank both Tejas and Rahul for helping us over the last very many months conducting the Sunday program. They have been an integral part of the program that we offer over Zoom every Sunday. And now they're going to offer Swami a beautiful flute, a few flute pieces. Start the video. Sairam.
Saram. Is it good? Saram, Saram, Sairam.
Thank you, Tejas. Sai Ram. What a powerful offering. It felt like Sai Krishna himself was sitting here listening to your flute. With this offering, we conclude our program for today. As I mentioned, please sign up to offer. The sign-up link is provided on the weekly email that is sent out to all the members. We are going to wrap up with aarati. Sai Ram. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Satya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Parti Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashivadana Shrikara Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Ashita Kalpalatika Ashita Kalpalatika Abhavandava Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Pita Guru Daivamu Mariyantayunive Swami Mariyantayunive Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nagendra Shayana Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Omkara Rupamo Jaya Shiva Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangala Alati Anduko Mangala Alati Anduko Mantara Giridhari Jaya Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jaya Jagadish Hare Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jaya Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim Paramartha Istartha Moksha Pradatam Baba Vibhutim Idamashayami. Sacred, holy and supreme is Baba's Vibhuti, pouring forth in endless stream his playa Vibhuti. So auspicious is its might, it grants liberation. Baba's Vibhuti, its power protects me. Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim Paramartha Istartha Moksha Pradatam Baba